Today, I'm going to be smoking some prosciutto stuffed meatballs out on the Oklahoma Joe's Highland. So I've got my meat already in the mixing bowl. I've got 2 pounds of 80/20 ground beef and a pound of ground pork. We're just going to add the rest of our ingredients to this and start forming the meatballs. We're going to add our spices first, which are fairly simple for this because that prosciutto inside is going to release a lot of flavor and salt. So we've got 2 teaspoons of a really finely ground garlic powder. Got a teaspoon of ground black pepper. About a half a teaspoon of a really coarse salt. 1 egg. And 2 tablespoons of some breadcrumbs. Now we're also going to add some red pepper flakes. I'm not measuring these out, I'm just going by about how much heat I want. I'm probably going to add somewhere around a teaspoon. You can add as much as you'd like. And now we mix. Get everything incorporated. If we need to add more breadcrumbs, if it feels a little too wet, we can. Just got to work it. I'm pretty happy with that consistency. I don't think we need to add any more breadcrumbs, so now we're going to start forming the meatballs. I've got a sheet of wax paper here. I'm just going to start kind of eyeballing this. I'm shooting for, I don't know, 6 to 8 big meatballs here. They're not going to be small. Let me show you how we're going to incorporate the prosciutto into the center of these meatballs. So we're just flattening these out. Then we're going to take our prosciutto and we're just going to roll it up into a little sort of package. We're not cutting it. These are just pieces of prosciutto I bought at the store. It's going to go right in the center like that. We're just going to close this patty around it. Pick it up. Form it into our meatball. Just like that. I'm going to form the rest of these meatballs and then we'll get them out on the smoker. All right, the Oklahoma Joe's Highland is up to temp. It's about 260 right now. I want to try and keep it between 250 and 275. I've got my water pan nearest the smokestack about 3/4 full, and the water pan that's right next to the firebox side of the cook chamber. Some of that's already steamed off, evaporated with the cooker coming up to temp. I'm going to be putting the meatballs on this grid grate today. That'll allow them to get smoked directly from the bottom, from the top, all around, while still being supported on something that's a little more stable for meatballs than just directly on the cooking grate. So let's get these on. Try and put my biggest meatballs closest to the firebox side. Got one that's kind of a little baby meatball the last little bit when I was making them. So I've got 5 good-sized ones and one that's a little, you know, miniature. I'm going to be using a temperature probe from the ThermoPro today to be monitoring these. And you can see it's been laying on a piece of foil in there to help it sterilize a little bit more beyond just washing. I did a video on that a while back. So I'm going to go ahead and insert this into one of the center meatballs. We're going to be shooting for 165 degrees internal. That should take, I don't know, anywhere from 1.5 hours, 2.5 hours, just depends. Before that though, about an hour into this cook, we're going to glaze these meatballs with a barbecue sauce. So let's close this up so it can start building temp. And so we can add some wood. All right, you can see we got our charcoal in there, a piece of hickory that's burned down. I'm going to be using a mix of hickory today and olive. My first piece is going to be olive. The rest of the wood today is just going to be hickory. We'll give that a chance to catch before we close up the firebox. If you can see, I also have my little portable fan pushing a little bit of extra air into the firebox right now, just to get this piece of wood going initially. Probably hard to see in the light, but we've got flame already. This olive wood burns really well. I've been very impressed with it. I used it to smoke some ribs not too long ago and it was just amazing. So I want to mix it up with the hickory in this cook just to see how that blend of flavors will be. All right, I'm going to go ahead and close this up now that we've got good fire coming off there. And I'll bring you back in about an hour. All right, we are just a little over an hour in. Our pit temp is 244. Our internal meat temp is 125. It's time to sauce these. Got a brown sugar barbecue sauce from Trader Joe's. I've used this so many times. I just love this stuff. You get a good glaze on these meatballs. I know it's not going to get on the bottom, but these meatballs are basically like mini meatloafs. We'll be eating them like that too. And get just a really good amount of glaze on this. These are looking really good. It's time to close it up, let them keep cooking. I'm guessing we have another 45 minutes to go. They seem to be cooking pretty quickly. Once again, we're taking them to 165 internal. All right, our internal meat temp is at 166. We're just 1 degree above 165, crept up from the time I headed out from inside. So we got to get these off. Oh, look at that color. Really nice color. Go ahead and get our probe out of there. Let's get these off and inside. There are the meatballs, and boy, do they look good. Smell good too, and I can't wait to cut into them, but just that beautiful color on them. We ended up going almost exactly 2.5 hours, sticking right around 250 in there with that olive wood, some hickory wood, sauced them with that organic brown sugar barbecue sauce from Trader Joe's, and here's what we've got. Let's cut into one of them. All right, let's see here. Ooh. Oh, there's that prosciutto right in the center. A lot of juice, look at that. A lot of juice coming out. Very moist. Oh yeah, it's time to taste this. I am ready for this meatball. I'm gonna cut and make sure I get some prosciutto in this first bite. Little piece of prosciutto dangling. Here we go. Mmm. Oh, wow. Mmm. Really good combination of flavors. Smoke, sauce, seasoning. Mmm. Mostly hickory, but I do get a hint of that olive wood. I am really impressed with that olive wood. Mmm. That prosciutto is a nice little bite in the center of this. Got that saltiness that you love from prosciutto. Mmm. Mmm. Oh, wow. You could definitely smoke these and use them in something like pasta. You can make them smaller. They hold together really well with that egg and the breadcrumbs in there as the binders. And smoking just allows them to absorb so much flavor. Think about it. These took 2.5 hours on the smoker. You could have done these in 45 minutes in the oven, you know, cranked up to 350 or 375. But in the smoker for that amount of time, it not only absorbed the smoke flavor, after we glazed them, that glaze, that barbecue sauce penetrates in there. It also creates that nice little sweet glaze on the outside. Mm. If there's one thing wrong with these meatballs, it's that there's not enough of them. Mm. Great thing about these two, you can make them any way you want, flavor them any way you want. You want cheese in the center, put some Parmesan in the center, some mozzarella, anything like that. A lot of people make smoked stuffed meatballs with cheese in the center. You could put ham, you could put andouille sausage. You could change up the flavors in this to anything you like. The key here is using the smoker to allow it to have that time to absorb smoke, to absorb any sauce you use, and to let those flavors that you put in distribute throughout the meat. I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to check out some of the other videos on my channel and consider subscribing. And if you do, click that bell for notifications. Thank you all for watching. Hope you have a great day. I'll see you again soon.